What's up and welcome to the Indie Credible Podcast, Season 2, Episode 35, a weekly podcast where we get together and chat about the world of indie gaming. We go through all the indie games we've been playing, sharing our latest impressions on the games. We go through the latest indie game news, and we go for a main topic. This week's main topic was going to be a little competition between Tom and Dan. Tom isn't here, I'm afraid, so it's going to be a solo competition against Dan, which is going to we used to do this on the other podcast that we run.
Beat the Bear!
Beat the Bear.
Yes!
Which was the Not So Indie show, which is kind of on the back burner at the moment, but so it's going to be an indie game high or low. So looking at over the indie game releases from this year, looking at Metacritic score, and Dan is going to have to try and guess whether the previous game or the game is higher or lower on a Metacritic score than the previous game. You know, a little bit of fun just to round things up. But yeah, joining me as always is Dan from At the Dice Bear.
Hello.
And if you do want to find me anywhere, then you can find me at What's Up Woody pretty much anywhere. How's the week been, bud?
I had a really good start of the week.
Yep.
Working, getting on, and then I went in Wednesday morning feeling rough as. Taught the morning, got to midday, spewed my guts up. Was like, I need to leave. Yeah. I feel terrible. Went home and I've spent the last 2 days in bed.
Switch.
Just asleep. Well, I say just asleep.
Yeah. The joy of the Switch.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And then, once Corinne's gone, my wife, TV, PlayStation. So, yeah, I've spent 2 days in bed playing indie games.
Nice.
So, it's weird. I've been ill, but I've had a pretty beast week.
Yeah. I get that. Well, we spoke about, I had a bit of a mixed week, but not mixed week, but anyway. But the patrons. Patrons. That's patrons. We are available on patreon.com, guys, /Indiecredible, and it does get you $1 a month, gets you exclusive content. It's about half an hour a week of just pre-show and post-show content where we just chat nonsense about our weeks, about anything else. And it gets you access to our Discord where we give away keys, and we recently gave away a key of Stranded Sales to Severin D, our patron, who after I go for my review, which you're going to do today on this podcast, I can also share his impressions on it as well.
Oh, nice.
But yes, that's it, guys. That's it. That's
all.
Yeah.
It's been an alright week.
That's all it is. We are available on YouTube. If you're listening to us and you're thinking, what's the benefit of watching you on YouTube when I can just listen to you in the car?
You get to see our faces.
Exactly. That's all it is.
That's it.
Nothing else. It's actually just like this red curtain across, and we just have our 2 heads sticking out
with little toy hands that come out.
That's it.
Yeah.
Like a Benny Hill sketch. Can you say Benny Hill sketch now? Is that inappropriate? Wasn't he?
Why would Benny Hill be
Wasn't he caught for something? Wasn't he done for something?
No.
No,
he died. He just chased women around in their bras and knickers during the. That was it.
Fair dues. Not like Benny Hill, but like Benny Hill. Anyway, that was a bit of a weird one, wasn't it? But also we play all the trailers for the games we speak about behind us on the screen. So if you think, that game sounds really interesting, obviously you could just go Google a trailer, but that's pretty damn boring. Just go and watch the podcast, and there you go. You can see us faces and our reactions, and you can see the game trailer playing as well. But if you are watching, we are available on all podcast services. Literally, you type us into any podcast service, the Indie Credible podcast pops up. But should we jump into what we've been playing?
Let's do this.
Do you want to go first, or shall I kick us off?
I'll go.
Go for it.
So I've been continuing with Cat's Quest 2.
Nice.
Because I don't want to give. I'm going to do the review on this show because I haven't had time to really go through it. But I don't want to do that until I've played through it again. Because you know how you get your New Game Plus and you get bits like that and you get extra bits, and there's lots of bits. Because I'm playing Cat's Quest 1 as well again on the Switch.
Nice.
And I'm finding new bits in that as well that I hadn't noticed, which is quite funny because it is my 5th playthrough of the game.
It's quite a big overlord, though, isn't it, in Cat Quest? So.
It is, and they put so many little jokes or
there's lots of little references
or
in it.
Just things like that you keep finding now and again. You go, oh, that's quite funny. Oh, I like that one. And I hadn't realised that since I played it, they put in a whole Christmas section.
Oh, really?
Where you get to save Santa paws. And
wasn't that a really bad film as well? I'm sure that was a really bad film.
I bet it was.
But,
there must be. I reckon you're right on that one. No. But I've been really enjoying that. Cat's Quest 2, I'll do a review of once I've done the What Is video, which will come soon once I'm on holiday. There'll be a whole ton of What Is videos coming my way. Continue playing Flotsam.
Nice.
Which I'm enjoying. I found the loop now. because of course it's in alpha at the moment. So once you play through, you get to the last level and it restarts you.
Okay.
And then you play through with what you've got. It takes you back so you can take a different path and slowly build. I don't know what happens once you've done all the paths, but...
Nice.
Well, I'll find out. That's a good game.
Yeah, I was really sweet about it, saying you're still enjoying it.
I've been playing Kine, which is...
It's available now, actually.
It's available now. I've been playing it on Nintendo Switch, and I wasn't allowed to talk about it last week. I said that I'd been playing it last week.
Released yesterday as a recording, Thursday, and it's available PS4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC.
Get it on the Switch.
Tom's been playing it on PC. I don't know his thoughts on it, but I sent him a key for PC.
As I said, last 2 days I've been pretty ill, lying in bed. Been great playing this.
Okay.
Really nice puzzle game, 3D puzzle game. You're playing an instrument who is trying to make his way to a concert hall so that you can be the ultimate gig. And he's trying to form a band as he goes.
Yep.
So as he goes along, you're meeting different instruments, or the different instruments are also trying to get to the same place. And you're basically going through these very basic, but that is the wrong word. Basic as in, you look at it and you go, oh, I've just got to get from A to B by switching them along and moving them in different ways to get to that end bit. Nice and simple. It's not. They're never, ever just nice and simple. Because as you move, you can... So the drum has a hi-hat stand attached to it. Now you can move your snare drum up and down that hi-hat stand, but the hi-hat stand will remain at the same length. So sometimes if you've got to go through a narrow passage, if your hi-hat stand is in the wrong place, you can't make it through. So you've then got to twist your body around to have it in the right way, and then drag yourself along and move. It's a very complex yet easy to get on with 3D puzzler.
They're the best puzzles, aren't they? The ones that you can pick up and instantly go, I know the concept of this.
Yeah.
I just need to work out the logistics of it.
Yeah. How do I do it? And then you do sit there going over it. What's really nice is you've got your main story, which is usually just one instrument you're taking through.
Yep.
And you're like, oh, A to B, okay, do that. That's challenging, got there. They've got these side missions where the two instruments have to work together to do the puzzle. And sometimes they have to balance on top of each other and use the way they move to get across bits. And you seriously sit there going, hang on. I know that if she rolls that way, and they're all anthropomorphized, they're all cube, they've got eyes, they're all... and they have bits. If she moves that way on top of him, he can then move the hi-hat up, which will then allow her to extend the accordion parts, which will then move. And then you go, oh no, that won't work. Where did I get to the point that was right? And then you've forgotten all the moves towards it. It's a really nice puzzler. There are two things I don't like about it.
Okay. And
they're nothing to do with the puzzles or how you move around. It is the music. Has a very short loop to it.
Okay.
And for a game that's about the music,
that was a bit
bad
odd.
music doesn't work and it doesn't help.
Okay.
I turned the volume off after a while.
Are there like sound effects so like the drums fall over? Does it crash or anything like that?
You get a slight crash, yeah, but it's...
Is it in time to the music or is it just independent?
No, it's all independent. It's all separate from the music, and the music's a very short loop. And I thought, as maybe, I've got the drums, maybe I'll just have a drum track to start with.
Yeah.
Then the accordion coming, and maybe it will build. It doesn't do that. You just have these irritating loops.
Yeah.
And they are irritating. I'm pretty sure it's Gwen Frey.
Yeah.
So it is a one-person development thing. Very impressive for one. So I get the whole, you haven't got these outstanding music, all of that lot. But it does get to you. So turn the music off, enjoy the game. The other thing is the choice of colour palette.
Okay.
It's very dull. There are no popping colours. It's all... I mean, you're mainly going through offices and dull places. There's drawers and bits like that. And it's all
are the
greys.
Instruments popping colour? Or...
No, the instruments, even the yellows that are chosen are slightly washed out. And it doesn't make you feel... It makes you kind of feel unclean in a way. As you're playing it, you're just like, this is just a little bit grubby.
Don't, because Switch
isn't
waterproof.
Don't play in the shower.
Okay.
So it's a very good puzzler with some very, very well thought out design and controls that work really nicely. I just think they could have done with a better soundtrack and a different choice in colour design. Yep. But then again, it's one person.
That's the way up, isn't it? Like,
so
you got to look at it this way. Like, I didn't know it was one person. You know that as one person. People watching this podcast, or people very invested in indie games will know that.
Yeah.
Your average Joe who picks it up on the Switch,
it won't.
might be like, oh, this isn't like, and they. Not to try and sound hypocritical to people, but some people who just buy the games won't even think about the size of a team. They won't think about, oh well, this like when I buy my Call of Duty, I don't get bugs, but when I buy this, I get like.
When you buy what are you talking about? You always get bugs in the Call of Duty.
You know what I mean? In terms of like size, they won't get the fact there's a team of 5 people working here and there's a team of 500 people working. So
I don't know if it is exactly one person. There may be more, but still.
They didn't want their name on it, so it's just one person.
Yeah. So Gwen gets it all. But I enjoyed it, and I think it's worth. I think what is it, £14? I think
$14.99.
If you like puzzle games, which I do,
on the Switch for the first week of release, if you're watching this as soon as it releases, it's $12.49 because you get a little bit extra off.
Oh, you get the percentage.
Switch
off
always do like indie game percentages off, which is a nice little touch. So like $12.50.
Which is well worth it.
Okay.
Because there is a lot of puzzles.
And you do like puzzle games.
So. I do like puzzle games, yeah. It's far more than I was expecting.
Yeah.
As you go through, I thought, there'll only be a chapter for each one. There's 3 main things, 3 chapters, maybe a 4th to do the finish. No, not more than that. Oh, side chapters. You found this special secret bit. Here's some more chapters.
Do you get anything for doing the extra chapters or side bits? Do you get any like...
Not that I know yet, because I haven't completed them all.
Okay.
I am still playing through because some of them are fucking hard.
Fair dues. Oh, nice.
So I've talked about. Have I talked about Demon Pit?
No, not yet.
Okay, let's talk about Demon
Pit. The game I really was not fussed about. And as soon as they sent me a key, I was like, "You can have this, Dan. This isn't."
No. Let's do this properly, right? So whenever I get a key from Lewis, I never know what it is. Right? All I get is the code. And it's for PC. And I usually text back, cheers, mate, and I don't know until I get back to my machine and put it on. And I was expecting, because we talked about this last week, Disco Elysium's coming. And I was like, Disco Elysium's going to be here. Typed it in, waited through. And we'd watched the trailer for this one last week.
So you were already a little bit disappointed. You were already like,
We'd done it on the podcast, hadn't we?
We spoke about it on the podcast, yeah.
And it was not a thrilling moment of my life.
No.
And then I got on, ready for Disco Elysium, and then it said Demon Pit, and I thought, you shit. You utter shit. I knew he ditched this one on me.
Yeah, the issue with Disco Elysium is we are getting codes, but the person we had contact with to get the codes left the company.
Yeah, it doesn't work anymore.
So it was trying to get contact with a new person, but it's very weird. Depending where you are in the world, depends on who's publishing that game.
Oh, right,
so I had to send 3 emails to try and get Disco Elysium keys. So they should be coming soon. But yeah, unfortunately,
So yeah, I got Demon Pit, which is a 3D arena shooter in the mid-90s style of Doom and Quake. Visually, it looks exactly like those games back there. It's pixelated. It's just shit. I'm sorry. I'm trying to build up into it.
Yeah.
But even as I was playing it, so you're shooting waves of monsters as they come towards you. You're in a square arena that slowly changes shape the more waves you do. There are different guns, different weapons, bits like that. But the AI is thick as pig shit. I was just making kill trains as you go around. So you can just run around the edge. Slowly the monsters will end up following you in the same circle. You turn around, you just Uzi them down. And then on to the next. There were points in the game where there were too many monsters on screen for it, and by too many monsters I mean 20, and frame rate dropped. There was just all sorts of issues. And
you were playing a full release version of the game.
Is that what I'm playing? Okay, I'm playing. Well, I don't know because I was just like.
No, you are playing a full release version. Like, the code, I got an updated code for you, and it said, "Please put this one in because it's the full release version." That's the one I sent you.
It was just awful. There's nothing to it. It is purely a score-based game. So the more waves you do, the more multipliers you get, the higher the score you will get. So the higher you'll go on the leaderboard. The monster design is very basic. There's nothing there. There really isn't. The shooting, at the very start, your shotgun has nice crunch, but it's not the same as you got from Quake and Doom. You know, Doom had the best shotgun ever in any game. I think it still does in the remake or the modern version of Doom. Shotguns in that, just the feel and the blast. At the very start you get that, but they do the generic thing of as you go through the levels, the monsters get more health. Slightly more health, which means the guns do a little bit less. So you end up with guns which just feel limp, and you're just like, okay, fine. One nice thing is they have a grappling hook in it.
Oh, nice.
And there are these floating bits, and you can just grapple your way around it.
That's
which is
cool.
it's
So
nice for movement.
Yeah.
But it does then mean I could just move around the map without ever having touched the floor. Because you can just be like, oh, there. I'll just keep this pattern going. I don't have to. I'm just going to stay here. Maybe they'll die of boredom. I'm just going to stay up here until they're just.
So you're not a big. I mean, I'm not a fan of 90s. I'm not a fan.
Huge fan of 90s
but
shooters.
I didn't. Same as if I sent you a 3D Metroidvania, like ARPG Metroidvania, you'd be like, I'm not a fan of this. Where I'm like, I would like it.
You'd be like, I've got this new roguelike.
This isn't my
game.
game.
Metroidvania, and I'd be like, yeah.
So I sent to you knowing that you're gonna have more experience of it. Like I was partly because I was so late to the PC generation, but I didn't play Unreal Tournament. I didn't play Quake. I played Doom because I don't think there's a person who hasn't played.
No,
Doom.
everyone's played Doom. And if not, they're not allowed to call themselves gamers.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, so I sent it to you, and the fact that you're already like, means I probably wouldn't hate it.
Yeah, it's just.
Are there loot boxes though? That's the question.
Are there loot boxes?
Every shooter needs a loot box.
No. So it's even failed on that. You don't get skins, and you don't get rubbish banners that you can change to slightly personalised images or end call signs. So when you die, instead of it going, it goes oopsie. Anything like it doesn't have it, so it's missed out. It's not a game for me. I don't think it's a game for most people, to be honest. If you want a game that goes back to that 90s style of shooting, well then just buy Doom, buy Quake.
Or buy
Strafe, did a really good one, or
Trebs, or your brother's recommendation. Dust. I think it's Dusk. He played it, your brother finished it recently, Trebs playing it.
Yeah.
It's very. I watched your brother's stream on it. It is very much Doom, not Doom, Quake.
But you see, this is the issue. When
it's very good,
these
apparently.
Great games doing it, you can't put out this half a job.
Yeah.
Well, you can because a couple of people will buy it, but don't. Demon Pit is a miss. And the last one. See, I've got to play a lot since I've been ill.
You have?
The last one is Felix the Reaper.
Oh, yeah.
Which is this wonderful, and I'm going to say the good bits first and then say the reason I won't play it anymore. It's a wonderful story where you are the Reaper. Well, you're one of many Reapers, and it is your job to go up there and make sure people die in the right way through puzzles, which involve shadows. You can't tread in the sunlight, so you get to move the sun, so shadows cast in the right direction, and you dance around. You're trying to do this job really well because you have got the hots for someone whose job it is to create life, and she's a chunky lady with she's a well endowed lady as well, and the both of you would make you're in it. As you're watching it, you're like, you know what, good on them. Yeah, I'm good on for the both of them. She is good. He's got the moves. Let's bring them together. The puzzles are quite nice and simple. It is about moving shadows, understanding the realm, and it starts off wonderfully. So the way it starts is you are taken up onto this ice plateau. There's a deer and two hunters, and you know that basically one of the hunters has got to die. So you get taught through the tutorial, oh, let's move this hunter in the way of this arrow. Uh-oh, he's dead. Then you get to watch the guy die from how you've moved him into it.
Nice.
And it's wonderful. You're like, oh, that's great. You're on your way back down to wherever death lives. And you get a fax through going, you killed the wrong person. And you're like, damn it. I'm pretty sure it's Patrick Stewart doing the voiceover for it as you're going through as well.
I think it is, Keep going. And I remember reading that, actually.
So you go back up, you have new information. It's basically the deer that was supposed to die, not another person. You move it round, you get the deer in the way, the deer has his head shot off. And you're like, oh, I'm loving this. If each level is just me putting people in the right position for them to die and then getting to watch the death, this is going to be a hilarious little puzzler. It doesn't do that.
It is Patrick Stewart.
It is Patrick. I thought it was. It sounded like him. I was like,
it is Patrick Stewart.
That's Patrick Stewart.
I remember reading that ages ago that was going to be the thing, and I was like, how the fuck? But he's really big on indie stuff, isn't he?
He does everything
Like
as
lots
well.
of independent.
Well, he's in
theatre
Family
stuff
Guy and American Dad, and you know, I think he's just got a really wicked sense of humour and is up for anything like that. But yeah, what was the other one he did? He did The Old Man, where you're the two people in the war, the little boy and the little girl. She wears the red dress.
Oh,
and he's the old man at the top, and it's a 2D side-scrolling game. We played it a while ago.
It's a puzzle game.
Yeah. I can't remember what it is. While you think about that, because you'll remember it, it'll pop in your mind. When you move off that first kill thing, where you've caused someone's death, you then go through to try and build up towards the right person's death. So you've killed the deer, but you're trying to put things together to get the person to die, but they don't seem to make sense on the lead up to it. And you're like, okay, fine, it's a puzzle game. It doesn't feel like they've thought the route through properly, but okay, I'll go with it. And then you find out as you do the levels, you can basically award yourself stars.
Okay.
You know, do the best thing in the quickest time, you get 3 stars. Brilliant. Yeah. I'm like, okay, there's your replayability. Until I realised the loading times are ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. So I'll go through and I'll accidentally at the start move the sun in the wrong direction, and I've stepped out into the sun. Now obviously as you play these, you don't want to be in the sun. You want to get from start to end without touching the sun. So I went, okay, let's just restart. It's not going to be an issue, is it? Just restart the same level. It's not going to take long. Oh, I'm out in a loading screen.
Yep.
Okay, I've got to wait. It's loading. Why is it having to load all this? I don't quite understand. What is it loading in the background? Okay, it's finished loading. Let's go in. Okay, I've made my way through. I've done that lot. Okay, in there. Oh, I'm 2 seconds out. Right. Let's replay that level. Oh, I'm in the loading screen. My nails are looking good. I trimmed them really well. Yeah, doing that. Out the loading screen. Okay, here we go. Blah, blah, blah. Get through. And these are on the first ones. And there was a point in the game I just gave up. I was like, you know what? I can't be bothered with 3 stars. Because I'm having to sit through these loading screens each time. And it's irritating me. The puzzles. Kine did some really nice, interesting, difficult puzzles. This doesn't really do difficult puzzles. The puzzles aren't difficult. Once you understand that it's a shadow mechanic you're playing with, you can actually look at where the shadows are going to go to and from. And there's a little dial in the bottom right-hand corner that shows you where each position of the sun's going to be. You're like, okay, well, these are basic. The only reason I'm not going for 3 stars is because I cannot stand the loading times.
How do you feel about 3-star puzzles? I don't know if it's just me being prejudiced, the fact that I've played so many mobile games they do it, but I don't like 3-star puzzles on actual substantial puzzle games. I prefer high scores, as in like an actual high score. I don't know why. I don't know. It's just me because like I feel like it's a mobile game when I'm playing puzzles.
Yeah,
and that's I know that's a very sweeping statement, probably being like that's just a dickish comment.
No, and it makes sense because the star system it is a very mobile thing. Yeah. It is the easy way to add in replayability to it.
Yeah.
It's not that there really is any replayability. It's just that I've got to get the highest stars. I think it's okay if you're a small team and you're an indie dev and you feel like you need to put in replayability.
Yeah.
Fine, because it's simple. But you need to have load times in there that aren't going to piss the player off. And that's how I felt by the end of it.
I can't believe they're that bad.
Pissed off. They're not terrible. I'm coming from a world of having sat through ZX Spectrums and BBC Micros having the load, so I understand what a real loading time is. But for a modern game that is running straight off my hard drive, there is no good reason why it should take that long to load between, apart from the fact it just hasn't been optimised correctly. It's just not there, and you're just like... And that's where I am. I played a few levels. I've killed the first hunter. I've moved on to that, and I'm just like, you know what? I can't sit through these loading times anymore. They're driving me insane, and I wanted to enjoy it because I like the character. I love the art design. The music's quite funny.
My Memory of Us was the other game.
There you go.
I had to Google it.
I knew you'd get there in the end.
Also, he's appeared in 19 video games.
Has he really?
Yeah, since 2001. That does include the X-Men games, though.
That's fair enough. At least he's doing the voice. I mean, Tom Hanks doesn't even do his Toy Story voice. He gets his brother to do it. So,
Does he actually?
Yeah. His brother does the voice of Woody in the computer games and of the toys you buy.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Bastard.
Oh, yeah.
Farming it out to your brother.
Yeah.
How does your brother feel? What's his job? Well, I get to pretend to be my brother.
If I got paid a fair whack of money, I wouldn't give a crap.
That is a really good point, isn't it? Yeah, no,
we'll give you 20 grand for a day's work of doing. Yeah, cool, sweet.
Yeah. What do you want me to say?
There's a snake in my boot. There you go, I'm done. Give me my 20 grand, I'm off.
Yeah, no, okay, you made a really valid point there. And that's it for me. That's what I've been playing this week.
Nice. So I will go through what the other games I've been playing, then I'll finish with my Stranded sales review.
Yeah, cool.
So one game I did write down to talk about. I only got the key yesterday, but I can't speak about it because I then read the email again and I was like, this is I can say I've been playing Sparklight. Sparklight releases at the beginning of November, and people are really excited about the game. I can say I'm playing it. I cannot say any. I replied saying, "Can I do like a preview thing, like the first 10 minutes?" Nope, like nothing. So that's done.
That always worries me.
I played. I don't.
Does it come out at the start of November? You can't say anything, but you can tell me if it comes out at the start of November.
It does come out at the start of November.
Yeah, that worries me. So move on to your next one.
I've played an hour of Session, which is the hyper-realistic skateboarding sim.
Oh, yeah.
Where you record stuff. Okay, someone who put in, I'm going to say, plus 200 hours into almost all the skate games, even Skate 3, underrated. This game is nails. It's so hard. It is really so hard. Now, there are some things being early access where it is a little frustrating when the game wants you to be so pinpoint accurate, and the physics in the game are very good for the most part. Meaning that if you're traveling at speed and then you land like a rail slide, you hit a kickflip, 180 kickflip out of it, and you land just off at the wrong angle, you will just faceplant. Because it like Tony Hawk games, you just land and went off. Skate games, you land, you went off pretty much. This is a case of like, no, like, or we'll give you a chance to correct it, but it is a case of you've hit at speed, your reactions have to be that, like, Michael Schumacher on speed. Like, it's like insane.
He's not a good example at the moment.
Not now, like 1999 Michael Schumacher on speed. During the Damon Hill rivalry.
Oh, nice.
So, but the game's cool. Visually, it's actually quite. They do a good thing with, or they potentially do a good thing with a gameplay loop, right. And it is all based around recording stuff. So you're basically trying to hit these sweet lines, and it is a case. I do want to stress to people here that if you come from Tony Hawk, if you come from hitting 50-meter high vert off ramps, don't expect that. This is a grounded, like, straight up skateboarding sim where you will, like, a good line will be hitting a rail slide, hitting a kickflip off that, and then hitting a 180 down steps. That is a good run. Yeah. And you take that. It's not a case of I've just gone and done a 7,200 spin while doing a big air melon or something like,
and grabbing the letter S from the sky.
And yeah, exactly. That doesn't happen here. Okay, there aren't collectible. And it is very much a case of these mini little sandbox levels. You go around, you skate stuff. You set up a little camera pod. So you're like, I'm going to session this rail. You set up a camera pod and you just keep hitting the rail, and you put a starter mark and a end mark, and you can keep jumping back for it, and you do different things, and then you go through your videos and you go, I want that one, and then you go film somewhere else, and then you cut them together, and you're basically making a show reel of your skating, and that's where it goes. And then,
so is this like old school mid-90s skaters that I used to see down Hastings all the time?
Pretty much, yeah. At the moment, there's only street skating in the game. There's no vert. By vert, I mean there's no like big skate parks, indoor ramps, or anything like that. It's just street skating in the game. But someone who likes skateboarding, someone who's skated for a long time, it's very realistic. The animations are mostly pretty good. This is still very early access. By that I mean the way that the feet come off the board, the way you land back on the board, the way you land off it, the way they wobble. It's all very good. It is so hard though. Like, I'm not kidding. The sense of when I nailed my first kickflip off just a classic 50-50 board slide was like, oh my god, yes! Like, and we're talking that is normally in like a X square.
I can do those all day long on Tony Hawks.
Exactly. But it was that sense of achievement. It was so nice to have that. And it is a game that is.
How are you controlling your feet? Are they on the D-pad? Not the D-pads, analog sticks.
So you have choice. You have a skate choice, the whole the kickflip thing, which I loved.
So they're both ones each foot.
Or on they are basically the way the game wants you to do it is like because I use an Xbox controller. A or X was ollie,
right,
and then your front stick was your board, and your back stick was your weight.
Oh, okay.
So you're effectively like you have to lean forwards when you're landing, otherwise the board kicks up.
I just thought for a moment they were actually getting you to use the sticks to move your feet how you would on an actual skateboard to try and make them.
And Skate was a really good example of that. Did you ever play Skate?
I didn't know.
So Skate, like a kickflip, was down, and then you had to push the right analog stick up and diagonal. And the idea that your foot's going up there.
Yeah.
And then like a laser flip was like down, up, diagonal, around and across. So you're like.
Yeah, flip it out.
And it was all like crazy. And like people who got good at Skate were insanely good at Skate. I can't. EA, please bring it back. Come on, please. You need to do something good for the people. Just bring back Skate.
No, I'm still with last week's Let's Have a Point Blank game. I haven't stopped thinking about that since last week. That's
Konami, wasn't it? Even, apart from Pez, I don't even know if they make games now.
No, but no, not what we could call games anyway.
Session is cool, but don't go into it, please, thinking, oh, sweet, I like... Skate even feels arcadey compared to this, and Skate was a more sim game.
Yeah.
It's hard. It is really hard, but it is rewarding when you put time and you start learning it and things like that. And that is it, apart from Stranded Sails. So, Stranded Sails... For those who don't know, I'll give context on the game. We're actually going to have this section as a separate section video as well. So anyone who wants just a review of Stranded Sails, if you're watching this video, then this is part of the Indie Credible podcast, episode 35, which is also, or maybe not available right now, as of this video being live, but it will be available very soon if you want to check that out. But anyway, Stranded Sails, to give context to people what Stranded Sails is. It is what it sells itself as, because what I feel like it sells itself as isn't what the game is. Now, what it sells itself as is a kind of, for lack of a better term, farming, simmy, survival-y game where you build up a farm or a community, you grow crops, you fish, you hunt stuff. There was combat in the trailers. So these are my impressions going into it. This is what I expected from the game. You loot stuff, you go back. You have that gameplay loop where you loot stuff, you go back, you tend your farm, you go back out again. You tend your farm, everything slowly levels up. You can go further afield and do all this stuff and build up like that, build up like that, build up like that. Now, the game is like that a little bit, but not very much. Okay. Now, the story goes, you start on this ship, or you board this ship with your dad, and I think it's your dad. Captain Charles is his name. I'm pretty sure he's your dad. The ship crashes, and funny enough, you're stranded on this desert island, and you start off by doing these pretty basic fetch quests where it's like, oh, you need to go find the other crew members, you need to go find a boat, you need to go find my fishing rod because I need my fishing rod. And all funny enough, you find a fishing rod. Oh, he goes, oh, I actually got another one now. You're gonna have this one, and things like that. So you do all that.
A bit of a jerk then.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah. Okay.
And you have to go back and you have to talk to the captain who's broke his leg or something, so he can't actually leave the ship that's kind of stuck up on the shore now. And you go back there and he's like, oh, maybe we can do this and maybe that. And then he starts going, oh, maybe I've been thinking there's this mysterious islands that people have spoke about, and maybe we're on these mysterious islands. And then you find this temple thing, and it's like, oh, there's going to be combat because there's these spirits on this temple. Now, the game kind of goes through at a good pace. It kind of goes through a nice pace. In terms of playtime, because it is a story game, this is where my concerns for the game actually come in. Now, playtime, I can't say definitively. I would say between 10, 12 hours roughly to play through the whole game.
Okay.
Now, it kind of feels like when you land on this island and you're kind of getting the other crew members, and it's like, I made you a rowing boat. You can now go to these islands here. Go look for these crew members. You have a stamina bar at the top, so you have to like cook food, which allows you to go further afield. And carrying more food, or the better recipes you cook, give you more stamina, replen, and then means you can go further afield and you can do more in a day. So once I kind of got, I was like, okay, once I get the crew, it's gonna open up and it's be like, just do what you want. You can go where you want. And it doesn't, and it's like, oh, now go do this. And you're like, cool, once I've done this, it's gonna open up and go where I want.
Right.
And it doesn't. And the game ends up basically being, and it's gonna come across really harsh, but long story short, the game ends up being a very probably over dragged out series of fetch quests that is broken up with the use of a stamina bar. In terms of the only reason you can't just go beasties all out at once is because you need to replenish your stamina bar. Okay. So that coming across like that makes it sound like, well, why do I play this game? It was, for the most part, I did enjoy doing these quests. There are some that are completely unnecessary and they don't need to be in there. But they exploring the island. As I got into it more, and I got a sword, and then I could go off into these caves, and I can go off into. I don't want to say much more because it does end up going into. It is a story game, effectively, so it goes into spoilers. But you end up finding about secrets about the island. The combat feels actually better than I expected. I didn't expect it to feel amazing at all. It doesn't feel like great. You're not going to be like, oh my god, this is the best combat I've ever played. But I was like, oh, do you know, actually, this what I want to do is doing it. So I'm fine with that. It feels like just as soon as the game's going to open up and let you go, oh, I can do what I want, it takes back from you. And what they have is this kind of very linear 10, 12, maybe 15 hour, depending on how much you do exploration game that could have ended up being a 200-hour game. Coming from someone who's put that many hours into Stardew Valley.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what it feels like. I was kind of hoping that when I finished the game, I would unlock like a sandbox mode. I didn't.
That's what I was about to ask. I was about to ask, when you finish the game, is it then, well, here you go, here's your island.
No.
Survive and thrive.
It doesn't say that they can't do that in the future. But then I keep thinking about it, I'm like, I don't know if they can do that in the future because the game is very much built into a story. By that I mean, Stardew Valley, you had like a shop, or you had multiple shops, and you had shops rivaling each other, so you could sell your produce.
Yeah.
There was a story going on in Stardew Valley, and just the whole kind of the weird seasonal story.
Relationships going on with people
exactly
in Stardew Valley as well. And
the relationship stuff here is tiny, like very small. The only time the relationship thing comes in is where you cook food. You cook stew for the whole camp.
Yeah.
And then when you get to a certain level after cooking them stew and making them happy, then one of them goes, oh, yeah, I found some good stuff for your fishing rod. I've upgraded your fishing rod, or I've upgraded your axe. So you use less stamina by doing it, by using it. So it's all the ideas are there. What the game was built to be, I feel like it didn't achieve in doing it. Now, Severin D did say that his 10 or 11-year-old son played the game and like loved it and like really enjoyed playing for it. It's very charming. It's very cute. The fetch quests, even when they feel annoying, they never overstay their welcome. Like the most annoying one I found was you don't always fetch quests, and then it was like talking about a sword, and it was like, oh, there's 3 parts of this sword. You need to go find a sword, and here's a treasure map, and you need to go dig it up. And I was just like, just give me a sword. Like you're now making me do this for no reason. I've just been to these islands, and you're making me go back to these islands to add the padding in the game. But I got the quest done in 10 minutes, so it was like, it didn't overstay its welcome.
Yeah,
it's. I can't deny I enjoyed the game. I wouldn't rush out and say go play this game right now. I do feel like if it had more of a Stardew Valley or even my time at Porsche kind of openness to it, that there is a story to follow, but you're not being ushered through it at a rapid pace. Hey, there's a quest over here for you to get done, but you're more like, no, I want to go grow these crops and get this in-game currency to then go make this shelter over here to then make my community more happy and all that. Then maybe that could be that would not save the game, but that would be a bit more like something.
I think if you're selling yourself, which they are, as a sandbox game.
Well, yeah,
and they do, because from the trailers I saw, I was like, oh, this is why I wanted to stay well away from it, because like, oh god, it's another Stardew Valley. Lewis would just be on this drooling for hours. I don't just leave me alone for a bit. Yeah, but that kind of then, if you go in and wanting to play that type of game, you're then going to sit back and go, hang on. Well, I wanted a straight, you're going to push me through a story.
I think that was the issue with me, I think it was a case of I was waiting for it to open up, and it never opened up. I feel like if I brought this completely blind and played it, I'd probably actually be happier with it. because I wouldn't be expecting what I was expecting.
Yeah.
So I went in there thinking like, sweet, I know I put like 200 hours plus into Stardew Valley over several platforms. Like, I cannot wait for this game. This is my new game. I'm going to be playing this till Christmas. I'm going to be plugging away at different things. Like, that's generally what I went into this game expecting. And I ended up taking out, do you know what? That was a perfectly fine 12-hour story game. I just wanted so much more from it. I'm never going to play it again. And for those kind of games, like, it's just, I just feel like direction they took, I felt like I genuinely feel like there was a conflict between developers. I feel like they couldn't get down. I feel like one person was saying, we need more open worldy sandbox stuff. And other people were saying, no, we need a story. Because there's some times in there where you feel like it's getting to open up and then it doesn't. Now, I don't know if that was just inconsistent design. I don't mean, again, harshly. But it feels like there was different ideas at the table and they didn't extend on any of them fully.
Right, yeah. So there wasn't a real firm view of what they wanted the game to be.
Yeah. It might
in overall sense. It's not like badly made.
No.
In any way.
No, I mean, it's Lemon Bomb, so it's a very small studio. And the chances are, maybe they came out and said, we're making a Stardew Valley style game. And maybe they didn't realise that they don't have time, they don't have production value, they don't have all that stuff. I mean, remember, Stardew Valley still, it was made by one person over the course of 5 years. Let's say maybe these guys only had 2 years. Maybe they signed a deal with Merge Games, and Merge were like, no, you need to release this game in the next 6 months. Like,
how much money, on a separate note, how much money do you think the person who made Stardew Valley has spent on mental health? And well-being afterwards, after 5 years of developing a game.
The guy done everything. He done sound, he done art, he done programming.
I hope he's got a damn good counsellor, because that guy must be he must be overjoyed that it's
he's probably saying this now. He's probably sat on some beach in Miami drinking pina coladas. Thinking, like, those incredible shmups there. All you got to do is commit 5 years of your life, never release the game again, mate.
I'll pay off some other people to do updates and make it multiplayer. I ain't doing that anymore, but I'll rake in the cash.
But no, so Stranded Sails, to wrap it up, is a perfectly fine to good game. Like, I don't want to say it's good because some people pick up and go, this isn't good. In terms of a game, I didn't come across any bugs. It was very pretty. The music was very catching. I often found myself turning the switch off and then just walk around going, because it was the music from it and being like, oh, that's cool, catchy. Yeah. You get all the utensils or the tools you need very quickly. And it, as a story game, it ushers you through at a pretty nice pace. When the quests are like, oh, why have I got to do this? It's never around for too long. So all that is very beneficial to it. And maybe this is just me, but coming from it, as in approaching the game, how the trailers were selling the game, I felt like it was way too restrictive. It was a very fetch questy, and it was very much a continuous fetch quest system buffed out with Stamina Bar, which I'm pretty sure what 7D said themselves as well. But if you've got a kid and you want a kid to play a game that is, I mean, you don't get combat for about 5 hours in the game.
Hang on. On that, would you rather than play Yonder?
Yonder's very different. Yonder's weird. I preferred Yonder. The reason I preferred Yonder was because there was always something to do, either cats to collect, or there was quests to do, and I never felt like I had nothing to do. Even when I finished the story, which was like maybe 7-8 hours,
at the most,
I still had cats to find. I'd run along and I'd be like, "What's this?" And there's lots of little hidden secrets. There's like drawings on a wall, and you could. So it had all that kind of stuff. This doesn't have that, and like.
So which one would you say rather to get?
Probably Yonder.
Because Yonder isn't in-depth in its farming. It doesn't really have that whole style of it. It's very light, very breezy.
Super light. Super cute again.
Yeah. Whereas this, I think, from what I've heard, has a slightly more in-depth, though never to the point that you feel free. Yeah.
The most complex thing in this game is recipes. Right. You don't ever find recipes out. You have to work them out for yourselves.
Oh, cool.
So you have to be like, okay, so I've got a new recipe in there, and I'll say there's 4 items in there, and it will keep telling you, you need to stock with this one out, you need to change this ingredient or things like that. But if you put something like fish, soup, and, I don't know, chicken into one thing, it's going to go, no, that's not a recipe. But then you put sweet corn,
Beg to differ.
Yeah, you put sweet corn, tomatoes, thyme, and beef into it. Either not beef, you know what I mean? A meat into it. Yeah. It goes, oh, you made a stew. So it kind of, and then so that was probably the most complex part, was playing around with recipes. And classically, I probably spent an hour and a half one time just playing through recipes,
figuring out the recipes. Yeah, that is you completely.
But yeah, no. So overall, it's a good game. If you're going into it looking for an in-depth My Time in Portia, Stardew Valley style farming sim, then stay away from it. You're not going to enjoy it. If you want if you or you're looking for one for your kid, like a 10 to 15 hour story-driven game that has always something to do in terms of what the game's telling you to do, then it's definitely worth checking out.
Cool.
That's it.
And now, because he's had time to edit that, or Cat's Quest.
Yeah.
Just putting that out there.
Okay, so you want some news?
News!
7 bits of news this week, Dan.
Jesus, really?
7 bits of news this week.
What the hell have they been doing?
I know. And I realised I haven't showed you any of the trailers, so I
just go for it.
I don't need to show, there's only one trailer I need to show you. Inertial Drift was announced for a spring 2020 release. Inertial Drift is a drifting 1v1 racing game that is very much set up aesthetically like a 90s arcade racer.
Okay.
The unique selling point here is the drifting mechanics is dual analog stick focused. So one analog stick is to steer the car, and the other analog stick is to steer the back end of the car to kick it out. It looks very much like you go around the corner, a neon stripe comes off the back of the car. Nice. It looks fun. It looks cool. It does look cool. My one slight issue is what you had with Kine. Kine, yeah. Is it for an arcade game that has all these like neons and all that? It doesn't look very bright. It looks a bit dull. Like the cars all look grey or black, and the neons look a little bit toned down. The racing you're racing on is just street lights on just a I was
road. Expecting like bright purples.
That's what I want.
Like electric blues.
Yeah, that's what. And I mean, the trailer I saw or they put out is obviously pre-release. Maybe they'll go, "Oh, we'll bump the cars up a little bit."
Right.
All you got to do is just change the slider. Simple program.
Move your slider.
Yeah. Simple program.
Simple.
Yeah.
We know what we're talking about.
If you need any lessons on changing your colour in games, guys, we freelance. We know how to change sliders.
We will take your money and run.
Yeah. RGB. No, I don't know what you're on about, mate. No, you made that up, son. Yeah.
Ryan Gosling for beginners.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Oh, slider, mate, not RGB, mate. Slider. You're on the wrong setting there, bub. Yeah, but no.
Turn it off and on again. See what that does.
It looks cool. I was interested in the fact it's only 1v1.
I quite like that idea.
It's coming to all consoles in spring, including PC. It's definitely one I'm interested by. The twin stick mechanic and the 1v1 racing. It's something I'm interested by, but I do hope they just kind of change that slider a little bit.
I love the idea. If you're 1v1, maybe you could pink slip it. If you can deck your cars out and build it, and you're going to race for the pink slip of someone else's car, and you could lose your car.
That'd be cool.
That'd be sweet.
I always wanted Underground to do that. Need for Speed Underground was like, yeah, it's street racing. And I was like, it's too safe. Make it so I lose my car.
Yeah.
Like, give me, like... There's so many roguelikes now. How has no one done a racing roguelike where you pink slip your car? Start the game again.
Because you know everyone would cry.
Probably,
Everyone would cry.
Probably.
Because we love our cars far more than we love some random bloke who's trying to save Dracula from something. It's like, whatever. You can die as many times as you want, but don't take my car.
Yeah.
That's my baby.
That is true. Next piece of news, which is a weird piece of news here. I don't know how to feel about this news.
Go for it.
I'm mixed on it because recognition hasn't been given to certain places that I feel like it should have. Okay. Now, Wide Productions emailed out this week that they are releasing an Avicii-focused game.
Right.
Called Avicii Invector.
Okay.
Do you know what issue that is?
That they haven't paid royalties towards Avicii and his family.
The game exists. Tom and I, do you remember we used to play a lot of Invector against each other, high scores?
Oh yeah.
And that was Avicii songs. Basically, and this is my concern with it. So it's still Hello There Games who developed the game, and it was self-published.
Yeah.
Now, I get it's great for Hello There Games that it's getting a re-release. It is adding 3 new Avicii songs into it that were unreleased in the game before. Exact same mechanics. Now, there is one good thing come out of this, which I'll get to in a second, but when you read the press release, there's nothing anywhere to specify that the game already exists or that they've already released the game. It makes Wide Productions are very much making it sound like a brand spanking new game,
right?
Which I don't agree with. I'm like, the game exists. I know it exists because Tom and I probably about 25 hours in it when we were playing against each other. And it's not. The original game wasn't only Avicii songs, but it was majority Avicii songs. This version is only Avicii songs. Now,
so they've cut out the other ones?
I'm guessing so. But they've replaced them with actual Avicii songs. So it's only Avicii.
Okay.
Which is fine, because all the songs were EDM anyway. Yeah. So it doesn't make a massive difference.
Not to me, because I couldn't give two shits about it. But...
Visually, it still looks exactly the same. It hardly looks like it's changed one bit.
Yeah.
The only benefit I can see with the re-release is that because it's now being labelled Avicii and the whole circumstances around his death, 25% of all proceedings made from the game are going to a mental health charity. So,
in which case, I have no problem that the fact they're pretending that it hasn't been released before.
Yeah, I was just more
because as a publisher, you just go for it. It was a small indie game that didn't get the attention it deserved. I was rubbish at it, but I saw it was a good fun game, and you guys got hooked on it for a little while, just trying to beat each other. And if you can make that into a game, then you've made a good game. Yeah. So I have no problems with that. I'm just waiting for Dimebag Darrell in Vinci. Not in Vinci, sorry. Dimebag Darrell in Vector. So I get to play Pantera tunes while flying spaceship, because, that's how I would fly. EDM. Why do I want to be so tranced out? Sod that. Give me 5 minutes alone, right, and some nitrous. I'm done. I'm a happy man.
But the game is coming to all platforms at the end of 2019. Sometime at the end of 2019. Next up, Warborn finally gets a release window. Now, I'm excited by this game because I don't know if you played it at EGX Res earlier this year. I played it and really quite liked it. It was the mech turn-based combat game. So it was...
Oh, is this the one Tom hated?
I think it's the one your brother hated. It was
not my brother. I mean, Indie Tom, because it's turn-based. He hates anything turn-based.
So it's
sorry, I'm gonna have to look this one up.
tile-based.
What was it called? Sorry,
Warborn. So Warborn, it's got a release window of spring 2020. Now the game is hexagon tile-based, and you control these mechs, and it's very much like Command and Conquer in terms of you've now got enough money to produce another war unit from your base. It now comes out of your base, and you can move it up there like that. You have different mechs to create. You have different tank things to create. And effectively, you're going 1v1 against AI or against online against other people.
Yes, I do remember this one. Yes, this one looked fucking sweet. Yeah, and I did play it, yeah.
I really liked it. And then the combat system zooms in, so it's 1v1 on the mechs, and you have this turn-based mechanic to it, so it has like an in-depth element to the actual combat. It was really cool. Now, there's two reasons I'm hyped for this. One, the game's getting released. Two, it's solo developed by a very humble guy who I was speaking to who's so passionate about his game and his project. They've been picked up by P-Cube. So the fact that he has been picked up by P-Cube makes me super happy. His game's getting... He was basically like, I want to bring in 1v1 online multiplayer. I just need a publisher because I haven't got the money and the resources to do that.
And you know who P-Cube are with? Cat's Quest.
Oh, Cat Quest, yes. Yeah. And they love their kind of... They love
bastard, you.
Their kind of Asian-inspired mechs and things like that. And this is... so... Good job on you, buddy.
When's that?
It's coming out spring 2020.
Nice.
And it's coming to all consoles. As a base game, it will have a campaign, a map editor, PvP and PvE. PvP being online as well as local.
We're going to do local?
Local and online.
Oh, God.
So it's looking cool. If you guys like turn-based games, Tom Smith, definitely check it out. Next up, I'm going to show you the trailer for this one.
Before we go next up, we haven't addressed the fact that the skinny, lanky one isn't here again.
Well, he's at the bottom of the ocean, dead. We said last time.
Yeah, that's a good point. He was invisible.
He was invisible
by the TV in Poltergeist, and then we threw that TV into the ocean, because fuck that, we ain't keeping that around.
No. Okay, so the next piece of news. Sorry, I'm trying to.
Why didn't you tell me what it is?
It's called Unsouled, as in SOULED.
Oh, okay, Lost My Soul. Hang on.
And it's another game, and that's by P-Cube. P-Cube dominating the news this week.
Well, that's because they're freaking great.
So, Unsouled is a new game announced by P-Cube. It's not a game for Dan. It is a... I quite like how the press release, when it said, it is a dark, action-focused ARPG. ARPG stands for Action RPG. So
see,
the fact
that
they
sounded
said,
like something I would like.
But the fact they said action-focused ARPG, I'm like, well, I kind of hope it would be, because action's in the title. So it is... I like the art, I like the visuals. It's very reminiscent to me of Hyperlight Drifter with its visuals. I really like the look of the game. My question is, so I should probably say, it's by ARPG they mean it's like much like Children of Mortar. It's not. I didn't read anywhere about being a roguelite, although it does look very roguelite-y. But you're playing as a man or a woman who is going into this very dark world and looking to uncover some secrets through the dark world. It's it looks cool. I like it looks like there's some cool abilities in there. The action looks pretty fit, fast, and sleek. The pixel visuals look really nice. My question to you is this game? Do you feel like it's going to struggle to stand out because this is just another game?
Just watching this, yes. Yeah, so far there's been a couple of moments. You'll be seeing it up here. A couple of moments where I've been like, oh, that's quite nice, but it hasn't shown me anything gameplay wise where I'm like, wow, they've done something new or they've done something interesting. In fact, there were points I couldn't see where the guy was because he was blending into the pixels.
So I mean, I'm looking forward to it, but this is my kind of game anyway.
Oh yeah.
But
if it's going to stand out, it needs to have something big. It needs to have something that's really going to...
Yeah. I mean, we had games like Children of Mortar, and I'm using that as a comparison because if people are struggling trying to picture what Unsouled is, imagine Children of Mortar without the whole family mechanic. So, Children of Mortar, in my opinion, was a great game. It's still struggling to really build up traction because it looks like another pixel action-focused game. And unfortunately, Unsouled is probably... And the fact it's got P-Cube behind it is good. Yeah. But effectively, it's probably going to... And it's developed by P-Cube. It's an in-house game.
Do you think it's time that we got rid of pixelated? I think it's been really nice, and I've enjoyed it. And as a retro gamer, I do enjoy those things. But I think it's been done to death now. I think there's a point now where I'm looking at people who haven't done that and gone, oh, that's a really nice game. I haven't played the game, but it's just because I'm not seeing yet another pixelated thing going, oh, look, we've made a hack and slash action game. And you're like... ugh.
I know what you mean. Yeah, and that's my concern for the game. That is my concern for the game. It just kind of falls into the pool, the abyss of the same as so many other games that are released right now.
Luckily, Tank Wars doesn't do that.
No, Tank Wars does not do that.
Comes out next year.
Next up,
I think.
Grip.
I might be making that up.
Do you remember Grip?
Oh, is this the fucking DeLorean news?
Yeah, Grip. The game that is really okay. Has tried to save itself by releasing the DeLorean in the game. You can get the DeLorean now for, in the UK, £1.79. In America, $1.99. And you can race as the DeLorean in the game. I read this and was not fussed by it whatsoever. I compare it to the news when Rocket League put the DeLorean in,
which was fucking sweet, and I bought that.
And I haven't played. I hadn't played Rocket League for a couple of weeks at a time. I still went and bought the DeLorean.
Yeah, me too.
This, I'm not going to go buy this car.
Have you seen it?
Yes.
It's fucking hideous.
It doesn't look right. Nice.
I watched the whole trailer. This is actually news that angered me during the week because I saw this
up there now,
and I thought, Grip for a start was a game that was unimpressive and wasn't what it was supposed to be. And then they've did this whole thing. Oh, we got in touch with DMC. We're going to have a DeLorean in the game. It's so great having this. And then you look at it and you've got the boot and the bonnet and the rest of it looks nothing like it because you haven't done a DeLorean. What you've done is the time machine from Back to the Future, and you've done it badly. Don't try and cut into something that Rocket League did ages ago and did well. This is just...
This doesn't appeal.
You want to really appeal to me? put the Jurassic Park vehicle in it, like Lewis has on
the Crew 2.
The Crew 2, which looks fecking amazing, by the way.
Many
far
hours
better than this DeLorean piece of shit that they put out. I'm sorry, Wide Production. I'm sure you've made a good game, but it really wasn't Shaq Fu or Grip, because they were shit. Do not give me this as news. This is just crap.
So people are struggling to see on the trailer. Rocket League 1 looked like it was a genuine 3D model. It was a straight up 3D model that looked very, very good. This appears to be the shape of the grip cars anyway.
Yep.
With a 2D skin over the cars.
Yep.
There's no 3D element of the actual DeLorean.
Not what I could see on it.
Not what I could see either. Or
there may be, but it'll be really slight, and it won't be.
There's like the boot, for example, is just completely flat. There's there's no it doesn't look like there's any contrast or texturing to the boot. I was very uninspired when I saw it, and I was like, "Ooh, that looks bad."
As an 80s, born in the 80s, lived through it. Back to the Future, one of my favourite things. It offended me because of what it felt like was they were going, you'll like this, won't you? Come and buy this because you're a retard. Why don't you sit in the corner and lick a window and buy this DeLorean because that's what you'll be able to do in Grip. Buy it. I'm like, no, I'm not going to buy that actually because I'm an intelligent fellow sometimes and I'm not that easily led. Piss off.
Even somebody who is easily led and goes, "Ooh, something shiny! Ooh, something shiny!"
Still turned it down.
Yeah, still turned it down. Made with DeLorean card though, and then I'll definitely buy that. Next up, my friend Pedro.
I love it. We move on.
Yeah.
Oh god, I've seen this one.
My friend Pedro got a Code Yellow update. Now, a nice thing about this update is it's not a DLC paid. It's just a straight base game update that they've just put in there. The update includes in-game clock for speedrunning. It includes HUD customization, so you can change how the HUD looks in the game. And it also adds a new difficulty to the game, but in a bit of a unique manner, where it adds 14 new modifiers. So different ways of... what are the examples I read? Bullet time is halved to make it harder. Or you can give their enemies double health, things like that. You're one hit killed, like all this kind of stuff there. So it's like a kind of tailor your own hard version of My Friend Pedro with a speedrunning clock. They didn't need to do it. I'm never going to say no to free content that just gets put into a game anyway. So if you're a fan of the game, great. If you haven't checked out My Friend Pedro, I don't think it's anything that you should rush to go and buy the game and play. But yeah, you would.
I've got to say, anything that helps the speedrunning community, I really am impressed with. Not just people who can speedrun, but the amount of stuff that they do for charities and things like that. If you can help in your game to make it speedrunner friendly, then yeah, I'm all good with that. I still think the game sucks, but it's great. Stick that in.
Nice. And the final piece of news this week, which I only got literally an hour before the podcast started, that's why it's right in last minute, is Obra Dinn, Return of Obra Dinn, is now available on Nintendo Switch, PS4,
I know, I saw it this
and
morning.
Xbox One. I only saw it on Twitter an hour before this, but it got announced out of nowhere. They said it was coming, and I was waiting for a release, and out of nowhere they went, yep, it's available now. And it was really cool how they done it. It was you see the actual GIF of, it was the Switch screen. It was two old CRT TVs with an Xbox controller and the art style of Obra Dinn. It was very cool.
No, I just turned on my Switch this morning and there it was as one of the games to buy. And it's like,
how much is it on Switch?
Is that out? I think it's like, I can't remember actually. I was about to say 15 quid, but it might be 18.
Yeah, I think it's under 20 quid.
But it's under 20 quid.
I played it on PC and I really liked it. I didn't like so much the middle part of it. I found it kind of lost its identity. But I did really like it. Visually,
wasn't that in running for Game of the Year last year?
Yes.
Yes.
It was last year. But we can run it again this year.
Can we?
Can we for console? No. I don't think we can.
I don't know.
Maybe not.
Well, there are rules. Why not? Let's do it.
We do what we want.
It's our show. We'll do what we want.
But yeah, if you've been looking forward to Obra Dinn, or you're interested by the trailer you've seen behind us, available now everywhere. Literally is everywhere. Apart from Apple Arcade, because no one plays that shite. They definitely do, and I'll probably not.
They really do.
I know. And the final piece of the main topic
Oh, main topic.
Main
oh, God,
topic.
Jesus, I've had 5 beers now.
Danny boy. I have
Danny
10
boy.
indie games here. Now,
Released over the last year?
Released
or
this
just...
year.
Oh, shit.
Released this year.
I
Where
don't pick up my book and pretend it actually helps me.
I'm going to ask you for... So I'm going to ask you the first game and you got to guess the score on it.
Yeah.
Now, I tried to do user score, but where some of these games are a bit smaller, some of them didn't have user scores.
So have you just...
I've just gone with PS4 critic score.
For all of them?
For all of them.
So it's PS4
critic score. Because some of them didn't have user scores. And I was doing this on my phone as I was trying to work this morning when I was thinking about a main topic. So yeah, that's what we've gone with. So think about what critics think of the game and think about it on the PlayStation. Okay.
So seeing as Tom's not here, it's me against the patrons.
Yep.
So Trev, Brian, get ready to be owned.
Yeah. Patrons, let us know your score in Discord.
Yeah.
Anyone else can play along with it. Obviously, you can't get access to the Discord unless you drop $1 a month over on patreon.com/incredible. But you can comment below if you want to let us know your score. So, 10 games. The first one, you've just got to try and guess the Metacritic score. I'll give you a swing of 10, so 5 either side. You can have 5 below or 5 above, and you get a point for that if you get it in there. Same for people at home. So the first game is Children of Mortar. Released a couple of months back.
Yeah.
Children of Mortar on the PlayStation 4. How did the critics score Children of Mortar?
8.4.
Oh, he's gone 84. Because Metacritic's up to
84. Oh, yeah. 84.
So 84. They scored it 80.
I'm within it.
That was it.
Oh, just 80.
So you get
it. Get the point.
Yeah, 1 point scored by Dan. He's off to fly. Meaning, Indivisible, a game that released only a week ago on PlayStation.
So, am I playing higher or lower now? I don't have to get to score.
You haven't got to score higher or lower than 80. Sorry.
80. Well, to be honest, I think it should score more. Because I think this is a beautiful looking game. I think that even though it is a Metroidvania, I think it is probably the only Metroidvania I'll play. It's got some of the nicest combat that I've seen in a game of this style. So I'm going to go higher.
So higher than 80.
Yeah.
Indivisible scored 79.
No fucking way. Who scored these and how do I find them and come up? Idiots.
79. Well, obviously, it's an average of people.
Yeah.
The highest score actually on there was IGN Spain for Indivisible, who gave it an 87.
Well done, Spain. At least you know what you're talking about.
Yep, so you got 1 point there.
Damn
so
it.
79 from Indivisible. Blasphemous. Blasphemous was the rogue Metroidvania game that I played. That was all basically heavily on religion, and I reviewed it and I was like, I liked it. I just didn't like the religion side of it. How did Blasphemous score? Was it higher or lower than 79?
Lower than 79.
Lower than 79?
Yeah.
What do you guys think? Oh. Stay tuned to find out next week.
Next week, and I'll see you later.
Just we go EA. We just go. Stay tuned, patrons, to find out. And then when we're like,
what? We should do that near the end.
So Blasphemous, Indivisible was 79. Blasphemous scored 77. So you were right, lower. So you get a point on that one.
That's 2 points.
Next up, Knights and
Bikes.
Knights and Bikes.
Oh, you see,
released about a month ago. We played it at an event.
I've played it so many times.
Yep,
I've lost count the amount of times I've played that game. And
Knights and Bikes. Did it score higher or lower than 77, Dan?
See, this is a game that came out and no one talked about. No one talked about. It just disappeared. Which shocked me because it was at every event. I was excited to see it.
And it's Double Fine.
It's Double Fine. It has an amazing RPG to go along with it. I'm going to go with lower.
Saying lower than 77?
Because no one talked about it. It should be higher. But I'm purely going on...
Knights and Bikes scored 79.
Oh my God. Does everyone just vote between 77 and 80? Are there no balls in the industry? 79. Is that what we're learning at the moment?
Yeah, I think that's it. Next up, the most anticipated game that released this year.
Yeah, okay.
Bus Simulator.
Oh, this is going to score high. This is going to score high. Because any reviewer out there who wants to keep people watching will not slate these games. Because if you do, that's it. You are destroyed. Because the people who like these games are fucking psychos.
Remember the item bites?
Do you remember? Like, I'm gonna sidetrack. Right? Do you remember when we were at EGX Rest?
Yeah.
Right. They had the whole bus simulator.
Yes,
bit
they
there.
did.
There was a lady there who fucking growled at me because I was like, "Oh, is that good?" I talked to her while she was driving the bus. Right, and I'm pretty sure that if she wasn't sat on a crappy plastic chair, she would have pointed to a sign behind her that said, "Don't talk to the driver." She was fucking loopy, right? So I reckon this scored 100, 110. This is out there crazy.
So you think it got
shit.
higher than 79?
Yeah, this will be crazy shit because they're so terrified of the psychos who would like this game.
I read the reviews in this one. It was very interesting.
Oh god. This means it's less. It means I've got it wrong, but
there
still.
There were a couple of places who scored it like 100 or like 90s.
Yeah, they're scared of these fucking terrorists.
They were very complimentary of it. But overall, it scored 61.
Well, some people are about to find themselves a dead horse head when they wake up in the morning.
The people, most people who...
I'm willing to lose that point. Bus Simulator, it's amazing. Please don't kill me and my family.
Most of the reviews that were like sub 50 were like, it's just the same as last year's. And I'm like, what do you want? It's Bus Simulator. Like,
what do you think
it's
changed in a year?
What do you think? Like, do you think an actual bus driver's job changes each year? What have we got this year? New mechanic mate in the bus. Yeah,
it's not like Formula
Wings,
One.
it can fly now.
The cars and the aerodynamics actually changing
every year.
It's a freaking bus. We've had the same stagecoach go past our way for 10 years now.
How are you modifying the no seats? No handrails, no seats this year.
Everyone just stands holding those plastic loop shit. Just
no,
like,
nothing.
What's going on?
Just stand.
Just bashing into each other.
Bus Simulator scored 61. Number 6, next up, No Man's Sky Beyond. Now, I'm saying this because it was basically a re-release of No Man's Sky. The big patch that came was like,
this is going to be bigger because this will be the chance for everyone to turn around and go, actually, it's good now.
So 61 was Bus Simulator. No Man's Sky Beyond, did it score higher or lower than 61?
Higher.
83 it scored.
It scored higher than Indivisible.
It scored higher than Indivisible.
It probably deserves it, to be honest. I haven't played
Apparently, it is like a completely different game. Like Destiny now to what Destiny 2 was when it released.
Yeah. Do you mean they got rid of EA and now it's good? Yeah.
The Church in the Darkness next. The one that Tom couldn't find the NPC with the glowing arrow over his head and was like, there's no NPC. And I was like,
it's just there.
It's right there, mate.
Look at that.
The glowing person. People don't glow in normal. Church in the Darkness.
Score higher than an 80. What was it? 83.
Higher or lower than 83?
Lower.
You got a point for that one, didn't you?
Yes, I did. Yeah. Lower than 83.
Scored 52.
Ooh.
Yeah, people didn't really like it.
That one was slapped, wasn't
it? I didn't hate it. I didn't love it though. Next, the Blackout Club.
Oh.
The 4-player, kind of Stranger Things-ish inspired co-op game where you play these kids who are trying to part of the Blackout Club and you're trying to work out what's going on. And
we played this.
We played it. I reviewed it.
Of 4
we
and
played
all
it.
of that lot. And what was the last one?
52. Higher or lower than a 52?
To be honest, I think it deserves lower. And you know what? I'm going to go with what I feel. I'm going to go with lower. I
would agree with you.
But
it scored 72.
No fucking way.
Yeah. Yep. It's actually one of our videos.
Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying if it's better or worse than The Church in the Darkness. It's just not a good game.
No. It's one of the videos that's got the most comments about people disagreeing with my decision to say it's not good.
Oh right.
Yeah. So next up, Songbird Symphony.
Higher.
The little owl where you run around and you sing away, and I'm really good at this rhythm game. I'm not. I'm so bad at this rhythm game. Just go watch the What Is video, and I'm missing it all.
You know what this one reminds me of? It reminds me so much of Yoku's.
Yoku's
Island Express.
Yep.
It's cute. It hits the Yoku's is a pinball game, whereas this is a rhythm game.
Yep.
I don't think it's going to blow any mountain tops, but I do think it does it well. So this is going to be higher.
Higher than 72.
Yeah.
Scored 81.
Oh Jesus!
I don't know why I gave you a point that you didn't get Blackout Club right.
No, I should get a point for that. We're right, they're wrong.
And the final game.
Can we have new points where if we're right, I get a point for it? Because to be honest, they know cool. and shouldn't be allowed to comment on this shit.
Do.
No. Okay.
Final one, Wargroove, a game I know you liked.
Oh, I really like this.
Wargroove, I know your brother's been playing it and likes it.
It's a good game.
Did it score higher than 81? What Songbird Symphony scored?
Oh, this is difficult. It is a really good game. It's good strategy. It's good movement around. I don't think it'll have done well because it's difficult. And I think a lot of people will blame anything other than themselves for the fact that it's hard. So I think it's going to do... What was that one? Sorry, that's an
81.
Oh, God. We're still around the pussy mark, aren't we? The 77 to 82. We've not really made a decision about this. We've been working for IGN for too long.
Yep.
Okay, I'm going to risk it higher. Risk it for a biscuit. Let's do this.
Risk it for a chocolate biscuit. Is it higher than 81? The score, as Bruce Forsyth used to say, is higher.
Hey!
84 it scored.
84.
84, which probably a well-deserved score for that game. Meaning Dan finished on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Just over average.
6
but to
out
be honest,
of 10.
I'm going to take that back, and I scored 8. Because I should have got a point for the Blackout Club and Bus Simulator, because I don't want to die.
But that's it, guys. That's going to wrap up this week's Indicredible podcast. As always, thank you everybody who stopped by and stuck around for the whole hour-ish of the show. Nice. If you like the show, if you're watching on YouTube and you liked it, hey, give it a little thumbs up. It means we know you liked it. If you're listening and you liked it, then just thanks, I suppose. There's no other way to do it.
Stick a comment down below so other people that you feel should get to know indie games will have a better chance of finding us. Because unfortunately, at the moment, there are a lot of shitty podcasts out there, and I have had a listen to find them talking about indie games, and it's quite obvious these guys don't play a lot of indie games.
Well, they end up talking about... I listened to one the other day. I'm not going to say names. And it was all about the Fortnite.
The Fortnite?
As in the Fortnite event where it lost the world. And I'm like, this is not an indie game podcast. Really?
Which is quite funny because we do talk about random shit, but at least we get onto the indie games. Not many of them will talk about indie games or the news of indie games or anything like that. So please leave a comment. It really does help, and it gets more people along to us. Indeed.
But anyway, patrons, you stick around. We're going to have some post-show content, chat. If you want to join in on the post or pre-show content, patreon.com/Indicredible. $1 a month gets you access to everything. The more higher tiers, like the names scrolling across now, are a $5 tier a month. And also, you can get higher if you want to get the end-of-year Indicredible loot box. It's not a loot box because... Well, it is a loot box because you don't know what's in it.
You don't know what you're going to get.
But it's not technically a loot box because I know what's in it. So it's fine.
Yeah, but they don't, so it's still a loot box. EA know what's in it. You've got a 0.001% chance of getting anything good, and the rest of it is cash.
Brian's is going to be just an empty box. And there's going to be like...
we can afford to
there's going to be like a 0.001% chance of getting nothing, but Brian's going to get
I want to send Brian the entire Rush back catalogue, just so he feels at home.
Anyway, guys, thank you for stopping by. As we said at the beginning, we are available on all podcast services. If you watch the video and you want to go listen to us in the future, just type in Indicredible on anywhere and we pop up on all the podcast services. Joining me this week, or not this week, as always, was Dan from At the Dice Bear.
Hello. And again, I don't know why I'm saying hello. Goodbye.
And again, you can find me at What's Up Woody if you're interested in finding me anywhere. Until next time, guys, have a great one and just stay Indicredible.
Yes, do.